Much debate now regarding reality. Many opinions, many views, religious, spiritual, um, theoretical views. But reality is very, very simple. But it's very difficult for the mind to digest because the mind cannot taste reality, you see. Reality is I wouldn't say the perception, because perception means there's a seeing. Reality is the knowing, the understanding, the experiencing of yourself as consciousness. Mind doesn't know about reality. It appears as the illusion, the Maya. Because mind breaks it all up, you see. Mind is a shadow of consciousness. It's very important to consciousness because mind gives it the opportunity to experience itself. Yeah, consciousness gives mind a role to play, to create all this, to create life, the perception of life, the experience, the activity of life, livingness, you see. But mind is the director of what consciousness reveals, you see. So they can't work separately. They have to work together. But for mind to know what consciousness is, mind has to dissolve in its own creativity, its own leadership, its own control. It is to relinquish its control to that what it truly serves. Only consciousness exists with a flavour of mind to give life an opportunity to know and understand itself as that what it is. Changing. Everything is changing. The body is changing. Everything is passing. You have a body. Your body appears to be real. And when the sun shines behind you, when you're walking along the street, you see in front of you a shadow of you. That's the mind. The mind is two-dimensional. It's still you. You can wave, and the shadow waves back. There's a relationship there. But the one walking is three-dimensional. The mind on the floor, the shadow is two-dimensional. Mind is two-dimensional. It only sees two sides. The body gives the opportunity for the observer, the third dimension, that third one, to observe. And the mind, it wants to make something out of the observations. So it wants to create reach its, or attain its highest possible. I can show you two ways for everything. I can show you this way and that way. I can show you pain and pleasure. I can show you yes and no. I can show you good and bad. That's all I can show you. I'm only a two-dimensional, temporary experience. The body has three dimensions. It has an idea that it can observe. And when you take the mind away, the two dimensions, there's only one dimension left, is there? Of course there's not. The mind is the observer of all dimensions. Sorry, consciousness is the observer of all dimensions. And it's only one dimension. It's actually zero dimension. Doesn't matter which way you go. You can go to the observer, observing the observer, fourth dimension. The observer, observing the observer, observing the two dimensions, the two ways. Sixth dimension, the observer, observing the observer, observing the observer, observing the observer, observing the two ways. You can go right to the 10th dimension, or you can go straight forward to the zero dimension. Zero dimension is reality, meaning all of this still exists, but there's no mind making something out of it. Therefore, it becomes true. It reveals itself as it's revealing itself. And there's an experience that you are revealing yourself as you are revealing yourself. There's no story. There's no you. There's no a dual shadow anymore. You accept the shadow in everyday life. You accept the shadow in everyday life. I have to accept the shadow in everyday life. When my wife asks if I want tea, I have to say yes or no. But I'm still observing my wife asking me that I want tea. I'm still observing that I am answering yes or no. Am I observing and answering as the mind? Or am I observing and answering as consciousness? Consciousness is observing. The mind is answering. The mind is making up the names yes and no. The name tea, the name wife. Reality is the knowing. The understanding of my true self as consciousness. And when mind, the shadow mind, looks up, as it surrenders its whole existence, its all two-dimensionality to consciousness, consciousness brings it within. It's no longer an external mind on the shadow on the ground. These things may still appear to exist in a temporary way, but the mind becomes one with consciousness. So even mind can get a taste of reality, but only at the only when consciousness allows it. Only when consciousness says to the mind, do you understand? Do you understand your position? That there are certain things that you cannot see on your own. You have to merge with the true you, the true consciousness, the true I. The secondary I has a story to tell. It breaks all of this up. It says it's an illusion or it's real. And then the next day it changes its mind. And then the day after that changes its mind again. To understand your true self, you have to allow the mind to go on vacation and follow the Ramana Maharshi path for years. Not this, not this. Nati, nati. Anything the mind throws up, no. Not accepting. Not even the best thought in the world. The mind throws up the thought, you have met God. No, not this, not this. You won the lottery. No, not this, not this. It's a process. Or you can go, instead of doing the 400 meters in one lap from 2-dimension to 10-dimension, you can go the other way to 0-dimension, because when you go around a 400-meter lap. When you start at the beginning, you end at the beginning. You see, it's a circular track, is it? So it matters not which way you go. You can go, allow the mind to fall into the Ramana Maharshi process and go through many months of rejection, not accepting, but observing the one that's not accepting or accepting. Or you can just give everything up, lie down. Apparently Ramana Maharshi laid down to die, didn't want the body to die, wanted the idea, the mind that was keeping it prisoner, bound, wanted that to die, and it succeeded. The shadow was gone. Ramana became real. One whole consciousness, one whole mind. That's the experience, you see. That's the experience. Lie down to die. Yeah? Go direct to zero. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. Nothing to do, you see. Just observe. And when the mist clears, when the veil of Maya is lifted, the illusion, the idea that the mind knows reality on its own, when that goes, consciousness reveals the reality that it is, as all, equally as one. And it invites mind to the party. And mind says, what a fool I was, thinking I could do it on its own. We have two eyes, you see. When they merge, they become the true I. I never comes and I never goes. That's consciousness. The body, the story, the concepts, the ideas, the thoughts, they go. They're temporary. Find the one that remains in presence, in here, as one moment. I can't tell you how to do it, you see. There's so many methods, but there's only your method that's going to work. You are consciousness. Everything is consciousness. Only consciousness exists. There is a God. There is something that gives birth to consciousness. It's unconsciousness. This God is not needed to be discovered, because it will just send you back for another jolly. Just find consciousness. Just be consciousness without needing or desiring or wanting to discover what it is using the mind.